Hi, my name is Tin, and welcome back to the channel. So this is a Tesla Model S. The car itself is really amazing, but today I don't want to talk about the hardware, but rather the software and the ability that it can do. So let's talk about it. The software that I want to talk about today is called Enhanced Autopilot. And there's this really cool feature that comes with it called Summon, but we're going to primarily focus on Smart Summon. Let's talk about how you're actually able to get that summon feature on your car. You're only able to get that either one of two ways. You can either purchase Enhanced Autopilot or you can subscribe to FSD capabilities. Either way, it's going to cost you a pretty penny regardless, no matter what you do. But once you pay the money, then you're able to actually download the software and have that summon feature and other features added to your car. So you either purchase Enhanced Autopilot or you either subscribe to the monthly subscription. Either way, you now have the ability to have Summon on your car. Now let's talk about what actually is Summon. Regular Summon is having the ability to move your car either forwards or backwards without you being in the car. All you really need is your phone. So the Summon feature itself, it's helpful just to bring your car up or out of the garage without you being in it, or it just helps you get into, I guess, closer into the parking spot once you step out of your car so you don't have to step back in. Smart Summon is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a smarter version of the regular Summon. This feature is particularly cool because this car can pick you up from almost anywhere. So let's say you're leaving the grocery store or you just finished eating at a restaurant, you can actually command your car from your phone, command it and let it leave its parking spot to come and find you wherever you're at. That's actually pretty cool and it's pretty nutty. However, it doesn't work all the time. The time that it does work, amazing, superb. The times that it doesn't work, absolutely embarrassing. You want to get into your car and really just drive away as quick as possible because it is a very, very embarrassing moment. I pretty much explained what Smart Summon and Summon is. Let's actually put it to the test and see how well it performs. I am at a empty-ish parking lot. Here, I'm gonna show you guys how just the regular Summon feature actually works. Like I said, super simple. Either go forwards or backwards. As you can see, it came up by itself, very simple. Moving it forward, now let's actually move it backwards. As a safety concern and precaution, definitely keep an eye on it even if it does just like the regular Summon or the Smart Summon, because the last thing you really need is to actually bump into anything and have damage to your car, or worse, damage to someone else's car. So yeah, so since we got the regular Summon out of the way, let's actually go with the Smart Summon. So I'm actually going to have it come to me. There's a curve right there. It did a really good job. Now I'm actually going to see how well it does when I park it in this area and be behind a couple other barriers. It has to go through like about 1-2 other parking spots or parking sections of this parking lot. Okay, curve blue. Okay, slowly coming. Okay, slowly down to the car that it could possibly come out. Ooh, yeah, that was covered, but it took the first curve amazingly. However, with that second curve right here, I was getting a little worried that I might hit it because it took like a really wide turn to actually come in here. So I was a little afraid, but it did it. Honestly, the feature itself can be a little nerve-wracking, but you kind of have to learn to trust it sometimes. Now I'm actually going to have it try to back itself out and come to me. I don't usually park my car head in, since it's a lot easier to park butt in because you have all the cameras in the back. So I don't typically park this way, but if you ever find yourself in this situation, I want to see how well it's able to come out from like between the cars and come to you. Okay, so it went into drive first, and now it's going back out. There's a car coming. I wonder what's going to do. Okay. Okay, the car backs out. Now it's going to find me. Oh, now it's going to go. Okay, so it's I have no idea what it's doing. Okay, so this side is to the left, it's going to the right. Okay, so you want that as first roll. It works just fine. I'm not sure if you guys actually were able to see it, but my car actually started to go forward first before reversing itself out, which I find very scary, especially if you park front in and you're pretty much at the curb or very close to the curb, that one like foot or a couple inches of movement can actually really damage and scrape that bumper if it does decide to go, forward. Thankfully, it came back out, and it came out in a really weird direction. Okay, so it wanted to go left and all the way around to pick me up, but then it didn't. That's the weird part. It didn't. It did not commit. It actually decided to reverse all the way back and then come out and pick me on the right side. I find that very strange. That's probably, honestly, the first time I've seen it actually do that. Usually it commits to a route. Today, we are back in the same parking lot with a bit more cars here. I want to see how the car is able to perform when there are more obstacles and more cars here today. Now I have the car parked face in over there, and I'm going to be on the other side of the parking lot. I want to see how well the car is able to take these corners, and I am parked next to another car, see how it backs out. But it's going to be pick me up on this other part of the lot over here. Right, the car is out, so this so far, I can get contact with her with car next to it. Actually, pretty that. I'm on the side on, and that's actually up, that's not bad. Come in, no issues whatsoever. Slow down, light is also back here as well. Okay, and my ride is coming. So far, first one, a little bit easier. I guess we'll do more, obviously. It was actually smart enough to actually route itself accordingly. So if I were to stand right here, it would route itself from there to here. But if I were to stand over, say, right here, it would route itself from here to there. Just this little, 3-foot part of this parking lot, it actually was able to differentiate which, where it was able to pick me up. So now I am on the curb of this building right here. And I'm going to simulate me leaving the building and having the car come around and pick me up. The car itself is right over there. Now it does have 2 ways it can go. It can possibly either go left or right. It might go right based on the fact that it is closer towards that intersection rather than going left. But then again, I am on the left side, so we will see which way it takes. I don't know, this is very close, very well. Slow down, brake the cars. Alright, making the curve, very well. Okay, no issues so far. Instead of slowing down, so it'll be cruise. It's going very slow. No issues there, except for the slowing down part. But I guess something was blocking some of the cameras. Maybe it was a little too dark in that area, causing it to slow down. Now I have the car parked in between 2 different cars. I want to see how it will react with 2 cars next to it. It should honestly do this very easily. I am right here in the middle section of this parking lot. Okay, it is completely freaking out. It just moved up and then reversed and then nothing. Try again. Okay, it's saying that reducing speed until visibility improves, not slowing down for intersection. Still slowing down for intersection. It's not doing too bad. Okay, a little close to the curb. Slow down for visibility until that improves. Guess it's a little too dark for right now. Maybe some of these lights are blinding it. It did have a little mishap. At first, I have no idea what happened. So it came out of its parking spot and then completely stopped until I activated the Smart Summit feature again, and then that's when it started to move. For some reason, I really don't know why, I didn't see any pedestrians in the way. I didn't see anyone there that could have, possibly caused this malfunction. It just, for some reason, just stopped. So I'm curious what would happen if I were to park my car next to another car and the curb. I will be a lot right behind the car. I want to see how the car is able to come towards me and react. Is it my turn? Very well. No, it's not. Wait, okay. It's not to fully correct itself to make my turn. So it's not to know that it's my turn when I curve. So then I actually back itself into it just to move that turn. Okay. It didn't do too bad at all. I was worried a little bit whenever it was making that turn when it started to back up. But it was smart enough to know that it couldn't make the right turn since it did not have enough room. So it backed up just enough for it to make that turn. Now I want to test how well it can do when it's completely on the other side of the lot. And I mean, this is completely on the other side. There's no way to get to where I am without actually following the road behind this here building, which completely obscures my view. Right now, I know exactly what is in that lot over there. I know there are 2 parked cars and a couple speed bumps and another car completely stationary. It should do this very well. It has already mapped itself out, and I am curious on how well it does. It knows it cannot come to me like directly, right? It actually has to go past the building to come over here. I am very curious on how well it does. Let's hope I don't have to go rescue it. Believe in the software and believe in the car. And the car made it. Okay, that's weird. It said that it already reached its maximum distance when reaching that point, and then it just decided to stop. But I'm activating the summon again, and well, it's here. So Elon Musk tweeted saying that actually Smart Summon is coming soon. So I wanted to make this video to have a representation of before actually Smart Summon and after actually Smart Summon. Before actually Smart Summon, this car is able to do some of the things. Sometimes it does do it well, sometimes it doesn't. The fact that sometimes when you try to summon your car out of its parking spot, it will just go and then stop out of nowhere. That part freaks me out, especially when there's traffic in the area, whether it be pedestrians or other cars trying to get in and get out, and you see your car do that, and then you have to go and rescue it. That just makes it such a giant hurdle in the summon feature. One thing that I would like to see from actually Smart Summon is to speed up the amount of time it takes for it to figure out its location and your location and map its route to you. Because sometimes whenever you even try to use the Smart Summon feature, it takes a while for it to even give you the option to make the car come to you. So after watching the entire video, watching me do all of the test runs of various scenarios, granted my scenarios was a very small sample kind, is it worth it to either buy the enhanced autopilot or to even subscribe? Honestly, that's up to you. I can't make that decision, but if you only specifically want Smart Summon, I don't think it's worth it. But if you want the other parts of the package for enhanced autopilot, such as lane changes on auto steer, or if you subscribe, you want to be able to do all that and stop at a stop sign / stop light, then you can do that. But if you just specifically want the summon feature, I don't recommend you even getting the software until they push actually Smart Summon out. What you can do, and what I do recommend, is if you want to just try it, I say subscribe for a month, pay that fee of $220 just to give it a shot. Because once you buy the software, there's no going back. They do give you a one-time refund, and that's it. You can refund it within 2 days of purchase. Do decide if you really, really want it. Spend that $220 just to try it for a month to see if it's even worth it. Do you even like the features that it comes with the autopilot? I personally do, since I do travel quite a bit. The lane change on auto steer is great. I don't have to disengage the auto steer at all. It just does it for me when I just press the turn signals. The auto parking feature really only works when you're trying to back and butt in. Sometimes when you attempt to even do the auto park and you maybe move like a foot or an inch out of its, I guess, zone, the auto park will disappear and then you'll have to manually park it yourself. You have to determine whether you think the software is ready, for you to actually buy. Because for you to actually buy this software outright is $6,450 outright, while it's only $220 to subscribe for the month. Honestly, if I can go back and do this all over again, would I even buy this feature? It is really hard to say, because sometimes you're really thinking, are you really getting your money's worth? Is the Smart Summon even worth it? It's super flashy, it's super cool, but I really don't know if it's worth it. If I were to go back and do this all over again, I would honestly subscribe for just 220 bucks a month just to see how I like it, try it for a month, you know, get all the super cool features. And then after that month, I may or may not decide to get out of it. That's why I would highly recommend for those who are on the fence about, you know, buying the enhanced autopilot is definitely subscribe, because $220 is a lot smaller compared to the $6,450. I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Do subscribe to the channel so you guys can be notified when I post the new video, the follow-up video for this one, for actually Smart Summon whenever it is released. Until next time, you guys have a good one and take care. Bye.